Y'all, I'm about to share a puzzle with you that is one of the most difficult I've ever seen in my entire life. And there's not a lot left on the board. There's just not, okay? It's white to move here and win. All right, so you can pause the video here, try to figure out what you would do. Shout out to the Russian composer V.A. Braun, and shout out to my guy Keith Frazier for showing me this puzzle. Yeah, white's playing win, so we're getting somewhat close to promotion. Of course, there's a lot in the way there, but yeah, how do we as white win this game? Multiple options, only one move is winning, only one. And I'll say this, guys, I found the first move. Okay, I was able to figure out the first move. Was able to figure out the puzzle. Not even close. Not even close. Now let's first off cover some moves that don't work. Okay, assuming that you pause this and you try to figure it out. H6 is a draw. Now yes, if black takes, we have king f8. Their king can't move. The pawn can't move. The knight can move, and no matter where it goes, the game's over. By the way, I am actually very curious. Like, I don't know what the rules are for this, for FIDE and for USCF, which is mainly what I play in, the US Chess Federation. If we had this position in a tournament game, could black claim a draw for insufficient material, or does the game go on? I've heard mixed stuff on this depending on the tournament, but okay, again, if the knight runs, game over, right? And the knight has to run. The thing is, black doesn't have to take this. So h6 is incorrect because black doesn't have to take this. Black can go to f6 or e7. Either one is a draw. If check, and we go here. I talked about this in my over 28-hour endgames course. If we have a situation, even like so, where we have an h-pawn on the 6th rank with a enemy pawn in front of it, and we have a knight here, we can't win. We can't win. We're not going to win, guys. It's just impossible. We can't win. Against good defense, we can't. Black going back and forth. I mean, really playing good defense here isn't that hard. There's no way to win this position. Okay? Just a dead draw, according to Stockfish. Right? So, of course, I mean, black could play knight e7. If we know taking the knight's a draw and we go, okay, let's check and then bring the knight. Okay, knight f5, and this pawn's falling. So, h6, guys, is not the way to go. Knight f7 check is not the way to go because of king g7. And this is our hope to win. If we lose this pawn, we're done, and our king can't move. Well, okay, I guess the king can technically move, but then f7 falls. And if our knight runs, then h6 is left open. Right? So knight f7 check doesn't work. Playing king d8, king d7, that doesn't get it done either. And playing king f8, okay, we are threatening mate here, right? If h6, now this is an interesting move, right? Because if h6, we can go with king f7 first, or here and then here. Black is in Zugzwang. Zugzwang is when any move you make makes your position worse. Black wishes they could go, you know what, your turn, you do your thing, I don't want to move. But black has to move, and the only two moves black has are here or here. Now, this is a win for us because our pawn is not on the 6th rank. It's on the 5th, right? Theirs is on the 6th, but ours is on the 5th. So this is now a win because black has a lot more room to run around, room that they don't want because they're trying to pull off a stalemate. The problem here is knight h6. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just a draw. There's not much that we can do here. I mean, if king e7, for example, king g7, yeah, it's going to be a drawn game. So king f8 doesn't work. So the first move, the one move I was able to find in this puzzle was king f7, right? King f7. Now, I realized, okay, wait, if knight e7 or knight f6, I can take that guy, and my pawn is not on the 6th rank yet. Now, yes, if I push this pawn up right now, it's a draw, but I could play knight f7, for example, and even knight h6, and the king has to leave, right? We had space. We had that h6 square for our knight. We were able to kick that king out in that kind of fashion because our pawn was not on the 6th rank there. Space isn't always good, right? That's the takeaway there. Okay, I mean, if knight h6, we play king f8, right? We go here, boom, then we do this. Black is in Zugzwang. The knight's got to go somewhere, and the game's about to wrap up, right? The very next turn. However, right, with king f7, I could not figure out what to do with h6. I couldn't figure it out because I kept thinking, okay, the knight can't move, right? But if I throw in a check and they go here, I wish it was black's turn, right? I wish it was their turn right now because they're in Zugzwang. They have to give up their knight. We're winning because our pawn is on the 5th rank, locked up with their pawn on the 6th. And we have a knight, so a knight can always see the corner square. A bishop's a different story, right? I mean, yeah, a bishop's a whole different deal, but I just couldn't figure this out, right? I'm like, this is a problem because I can't triangulate, right? In my head, I'm thinking I'd love to triangulate my king, right? But there's no way to, because if I run out with my king to try to do some little triangulation thing, their king runs out, right? Their king gets out. And, okay, I mean, here, look, there's multiple moves that work here. The fastest is knight c4, okay? But here's the objective behind this. Yes, it is true. If we check and they go here, we cannot triangulate. And by the way, we can't triangulate a knight. That's an important thing I should add because, guys, this knight can't get back in an odd number of moves. That's what triangulation is. For those of you that are unaware, triangulation is an endgame technique. It never works in the opening or middle game. It only works in the endgame because it only works when there's a few pieces left. Notice black can only go back and forth. That's all they can do, right? That's it. Just go back and forth, okay? Now, that means they're going 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. If we go 1-2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, we're always going to get into the same exact position, and it's always going to be our move again here, right? But if we could somehow get our knight back here in an odd number of moves, we win. That's what triangulation is all about. But a knight cannot triangulate because it's always going to dark and then light, and then dark and then light, and then dark and then light, and then dark and then light. The knight cannot escape it. Now, our king could triangulate, but this can be difficult because, I mean, going back, right? Knight c4, I mean, let's say that we see king h7, we go knight d6. Even if instead of knight e8, we go knight f5, going, okay, I'm going to put my knight into a spot where, okay, g7 is taken away. Well, okay, they keep moving their king. Again, we'd love to triangulate our king, right? We'd love to do some little triangulation thing. But at some point here, we're going to have to let go of f6 with our king while we're triangulating, right? If you want to keep on to f6, you're going to have to go 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, which is not triangulation. So, guys, what we're doing here at the very start, we're playing king f7, and yes, if check, king h7, we wish it was our opponent's move, but it's not. So what we have to do, we got to get our knight to e8. That's the idea. Now, there's a bunch of different ways that you can do it, but of course, we can go knight c4, and then knight d6, and then knight e8. What this does is it makes it so that f6 is covered and g7 is covered. So the king is stuck. All right, we can run away with our king. This king is still trapped, right? 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. And on top of that, f6 is covered. So now we just have to triangulate while looking at e7 with our king, right? So, okay, I mean, king h8, for example, okay, we can't leave e7. Then it's a draw, right? The second, I mean, let's go to d5. The second we do that, it's a draw. Check, the knight's out. And the knight can start running around and sack for the pawn. That's going to be it, right? So we got to keep an eye on e7 there. So you can go 1, 2, 3 or 1, 2, 3. Either one, right? 1, 2, 3. Our king just got here in an odd number of moves, right? So we had this position, right? And then we have the same exact position, but now it's our opponent's turn. Now we can bring our king back, get our knight all the way back to g6, and guess what? Because we triangulated, it's our opponent's turn. They have to give away their knight. We take it, and because of the space that black has, we're able to take on h6, bring the king in. I mean, you could bring your knight to f7 there. That's a technique that I like to do. You could also just push this pawn, and yeah, I mean, the engine has king f8. If king h8, again, knight e5, you could even check here and promote, or have checkmate on the spot. Okay, so either of those work. So again, guys, going back to the very beginning of this puzzle, we are starting out with the move of king f7. Knight h6, we quickly win. h6, different story. We got to get our knight to e8, right? Get our knight to e8, and then bring our king over so that we can triangulate. Notice, we're keeping the knight stuck and we're keeping the king stuck. And then we run back, put our knight back on g6, and then we win. Hope you enjoyed this one, and yeah, share it with a friend. Drop a like on this video if you can, okay? The puzzle videos don't always be getting the attention that opening videos do, so if you're still here, I appreciate you for hanging out, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. I wanted to finish this video out by giving a special thanks to Walter, Rob, Roger, Ray, and Jerry, and the rest of my Patreon community. Thank you guys for making this video possible. If you're interested in joining the Patreon family, hey, I'd love to see you over there. There's some exclusive benefits that you gain by becoming a member. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you over there. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Peace.